$1 million. Most Americans hear that number and immediately think that's for other people. People who made the right connections, people who got lucky, people who started a company or inherited something, not for someone making $60,000 a year. I'm going to show you today why that belief is wrong. Not motivationally wrong, mathematically wrong. Because a $60,000 salary in America, managed correctly, with the right sequence of decisions made at the right time, will absolutely get you to $1 million net worth. Not in 50 years, in roughly 25 to 28 years, starting from zero. I'm going to give you the exact numbers, the exact timeline, and the exact sequence. No vague advice, no just invest more. The actual math, broken down by decade. Let's go. Before we get into the plan, let's establish the math that makes all of this possible. A $60,000 annual salary after federal taxes, state taxes, and FICA contributions, your take-home pay is roughly $46,000 a year, about $3,833 a month. The target savings rate to hit $1 million in 25-28 years on this income is 20%. That's $750 a month. Now, I know what you're thinking. $750 a month sounds like a lot, especially when rent, food, transportation, and everything else is eating into that $3,833. And you're right, it's not easy. But here's the thing, you don't start at $750. You build to it, gradually, strategically, and the plan I'm about to lay out accounts for that. The other number you need to understand is 10%. The S&P 500 has averaged approximately 10% annual returns over the last 50 years. That is the engine that does the heavy lifting in this plan. Your savings rate puts the fuel in the engine. Compound interest is what makes it go. With those two numbers, 20% savings rate and 10% average market returns, here is exactly what the next 25 years looks like. Phase 1. The foundation years. Ages 22 to 30. This is the most important phase, not because you'll accumulate the most money, but because the habits and accounts you set up here determine everything that follows. Here's exactly what to do in this phase. Step 1. Build a $1,000 starter emergency fund first. Before you invest a single dollar, get $1,000 in a high-yield savings account. This is your buffer against life interrupting your plan. One car repair, one medical bill, one unexpected expense. Without this buffer, you raid your investments. That sets you back months. Step 2. Capture your full employer. 401 match. If your employer matches 4%, contribute at least 4%. This is an immediate 50 to 100% return on your money. There is no investment on earth that beats it. Do this before anything else. On a $60,000 salary, contributing 4% is $200 a month. Your employer adds another $100 to $200 on top. That's $300 to $400 a month going into your retirement account without touching your paycheck significantly. Step 3. Pay off any high-interest debt. Credit cards at 20% plus interest rate are a guaranteed 20% return on every dollar you put toward them. Clear these before investing beyond the employer match. Step 4. Open a Roth IRA and contribute $200 a month. At 22 years old, you are in the lowest tax bracket you will ever be in. A Roth IRA lets you invest after tax dollars now and withdraw everything, including all growth, completely tax-free in retirement. The earlier you start, the more powerful this becomes. Step 5. Build your emergency fund to 3 months of expenses. Once the Roth IRA is set up, direct extra savings to build your emergency fund to $10,000 to $12,000. By age 30, if you follow this plan, your target numbers are $401K balance, approximately $45,000 to $55,000. Roth IRA balance, approximately $20,000 to $25,000. $10,000 to $12,000. Total net worth, approximately $75,000 to $90,000. That's the foundation. It doesn't sound like $1 million yet. That's fine. Phase 2 is where the math starts to accelerate. Phase 2. The momentum years, ages 30 to 40. This decade is where most people either lock in the trajectory toward $1 million, or they get distracted by lifestyle upgrades and fall behind. The lifestyle creep trap is real. As income rises in your 30s, so does spending. Bigger apartment, nicer car, more vacations, and suddenly the savings rate that was 20% at 28 is down to 8% at 35, even though income went up. The rule for this phase is simple but hard. Every time your income increases before you lifestyle inflate, direct at least half of the raise to savings and investments. Let's say you get a $5,000 raise at 32. your take home goes up by about $300 a month. Direct $150 of that directly to your 401 or Roth IRA contribution before you ever see it. Do this every single time. Every raise, every bonus, every side income that materializes. In this phase, your target moves are maximize your Roth IRA every year. That's $7,026. Increase your 401 cause contribution toward the maximum, $23,000 in 2026. If you have kids, open a 529 college savings plan. Consider opening a taxable brokerage account for any savings beyond your tax advantage limits. Here's what the math looks like entering this phase. You start age 30 with roughly $80,000 in total invested assets. That $80,000 at 10% annual returns alone will grow to approximately $207,000 by age 40, even if you never add another dollar. But you are adding dollars every month by adding $750 a month through this decade, while your earlier money compounds. Your total invested assets at 40 should be in the range of $280,000 to $330,000. $300,000 by 40. On a $60,000 salary, without a trust fund, without a tech startup, just the math. Phase 3, the acceleration years, ages 40 to 50. This is where the math becomes almost unbelievable to watch. By 40, you have $300,000 invested. That $300,000 at 10% annual returns generates $30,000 in growth in year 1 alone. That's more than half a month's salary, growing completely passively, just from money you already have invested. And it compounds. Every year, the base grows, the annual growth on that base grows. The money starts working harder than you do. By age 45, still contributing $750 a month, still averaging 10% returns. Your total invested assets reach approximately $550,000 to $600,000. By age 50, you cross $900,000 to $1 million. $1 million at 50. On a salary that started at $60,000 and maybe grew to $75,000 to $85,000 by then. Not because you were lucky, because you started the right accounts at 22, because you captured every employer match, because you never stopped when the numbers felt small, because you let compound interest do what compound interest does when you give it enough time. Now let's talk about income, because the plan I just laid out assumes your salary stays at $60,000. In reality, most people earn more over time, and every dollar of income growth that goes to savings instead of lifestyle inflation accelerates this timeline dramatically. A $5,000 salary increase at 30, fully directed to investments, moves your $1 million date forward by 2 to 3 years. A $10,000 increase, fully invested, moves it forward by 4 to 5 years. Here's the most powerful income move most people ignore completely. Job hopping. Research consistently shows that people who change employers every 2 to 3 years earn 10 to 20% more over their careers than people who stay at the same company waiting for raises. A 3% annual raise from your current employer versus a 15% salary jump from a new employer every few years. Over a 20-year career, the difference in total earnings can be $200,000 to $400,000. You don't have to job hop if you love where you are, but you should negotiate every single year. Come prepared with market data. Know what you're worth. Savings rate is the engine. Compound interest is the fuel. All three working together is how $60,000 becomes $1 million. Let me tell you the 4 mistakes that derail this plan, because knowing them is more valuable than anything else I've said so far. Mistake 1, cashing out your 401k when you change jobs. This happens constantly. You leave a job, you have $20,000 in your 401k, and instead of rolling it over to your new employer's plan or an IRA, you cash it out. The IRS takes 10% immediately as a penalty. Then you owe income tax on the full amount. You lose 30 to 40% of the money instantly. But the real cost, that $20,000 at age 30, left to grow at 10% for 20 years, becomes $134,000. Cashing it out doesn't just cost you $20,000. It costs you $134,000. Mistake 2. Stopping contributions during market downturns when the market drops 20% or 30%, and it will, multiple times over your investing lifetime. The emotionally natural thing to do is stop contributing or sell everything. This is exactly wrong. A market downturn means every dollar you invest is buying more shares at a discount. The people who kept contributing through 2008, through 2020, through every crash, came out dramatically ahead. Stay the course, every time, without exception. Mistake 3. Lifestyle inflation eating every raise. We covered this, but it bears repeating. The fastest way to make a $75,000 salary feel like a $60,000 salary, and then a $90,000 salary feel like a $75,000 salary, is to immediately upgrade your lifestyle every time income increases. Raise your lifestyle slowly and intentionally. Raise your savings rate first. Mistake 4. Waiting until you have more money to start. Every year you wait at the beginning costs you more than any year you wait at the end. $500 a month invested at 22 is worth more at 50 than $1,000 a month invested starting at 32. The math is that unforgiving. Start now with whatever you have. Today. Let me give you the complete roadmap. The exact net worth targets by age, assuming a $60,000 starting salary, 20% savings rate, and 10% average annual returns. Age 25, $25,000 to $35,000 total invested assets. This feels slow. It's not. The foundation is being built. Age 30, $80,000 to $95,000 total invested assets. You've survived the low-income early years and established all your accounts. The engine is running. Age 35, $170,000 to $200,000 total invested assets. Compound interest is visibly accelerating now. Monthly growth from returns is starting to rival monthly contributions. Age 40, $300,000 to $340,000 total invested assets. The tipping point. Your money is now working almost as hard as you are. Age 45, $540,000 to $600,000 total invested assets. Over $500,000. Your investments generate more annual growth than most Americans earn in a year. Age 50, $950,000 to $1,100,000 total invested assets. The $1 million mark. Achieved on a salary that never broke six figures. Just time, consistency, and math. Write those numbers down. Put them somewhere you'll see them. Because when you're 30 and you have $80,000 and it feels like nothing, you need to remember that this is exactly on track. The path to $1 million on $60,000 looks slow for the first 10 years. Then it looks fast. Then it looks inevitable. Trust the math. Here's what I want you to take away from this video. $1 million is not a number reserved for people who were born into the right family, or made the right investment at the right time, or happened to work at a company that went public. It is a number that is available to any American who starts the right accounts at the right time, maintains a 20% savings rate, captures every employer match, avoids the 4 mistakes I described, and gives compound interest the time it needs to do its job. That's it. That's the whole secret. Time, consistency, the right accounts, not touching it when the market scares you. Your action step this week is simple. Figure out where you are right now. Calculate your current net worth, assets minus debts. Find the target for your age on the list I gave you. Are you ahead, on track, behind? Then identify the single next move. Is it opening a Roth IRA? Is it increasing your 401k contribution by 1%? Is it opening a high-yield savings account for your emergency fund? One move. This week, $1 million is built one move at a time. Subscribe if you want to keep building. Every week we give you the next piece of the puzzle. See you then.